Just a couple of minutes and we'll get started. All right, welcome everyone. All right, good to go. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to have all of you in this class. As you know, my name is Ashutosh, and we meet every Sunday 8 a.m. US Pacific. Which is the time in the west coast of US, and we learn about Hindi language. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Hindi University, and you can find a lot of videos there. And if you're interested in joining the live classes, you can go to tiny.cc/Hindi University. And you will find the courses are structured in pretty much the different segments: Hindi 101, Hindi 102. So based on wherever you are with your in your learning skills, you'll be able to catch up. Okay, and you'll find details about the books that we are using for our classes, and also instructions to join the live classes you can find there, and also sign up for the mailing list, etc. Okay, and just to kind of do a quick recap, as you know, this year for the most part we've been going over the book called Teach Yourself Hindi. Okay, which is the book Teach Yourself. So, which is the book written by Professor Rupert Snell, and you can get the soft copy of the book in the link that I shared with you. Okay, and you can also get the hard copy if you want to go systematically. Okay, so our key thing is we went through all a good number of chapters, and now right now we are on chapter number 11. Okay, and it's a pretty important topic now where we're talking about intransitive verbs and then transitive verbs and how to use them in Hindi. Okay, it's also one of the very important topic, and it's also a challenging topic as well. Okay, because it's just for a non-native speaker, it can be challenging in terms of why are we even learning about these verbs. Okay, so for those of you, because I know a lot of students are a lot of you have joined recently, so I'll do a quick recap. Okay, and we'll use in this class we'll use an inverse method initially for the first 5-10 minutes to really set the context. Why are we even learning about intransitive verbs and transitive verbs? Okay, so do a quick context here. So as you know, when we learn Hindi, right? I mean, we just focus on the basic stuff, right? I mean that namaste, and then you learn about nouns, you learn about pronouns, you learn about basic verbs, right? In the infinitive form and infinitive form. So let's get some examples from some of the verbs. Okay, so some of the examples are like you talk about khana, which is to eat, right? And we learn about the verbs like to sleep, which is sona. And then you learn about like similarly to laugh, which is hasna. So life is good so far, right? Because we can use them in present tense, and I can give you rules that remove na and conjugate it with something like based on the tense. So if you are saying it in present tense, such as I eat an apple, you will say main apple. You'll remove the na, and you will put ta, te, and ti, right? Based on who you are. If you are a male, you will say मैं apple, remove na and put ta. मैं apple खाता हूँ, I eat an apple. If you're a girl, you will remove na and put ti. मैं apple खाती हूँ. Okay. Similarly, sona, you'll do the same thing. You'll remove the na, you'll put ta, te and ti. मैं सोता हूँ, मैं सोती हूँ, और हम सोते हैं. Same thing. मैं हंसता हूँ, मैं हम हंसते हैं. I wrote it other way around, but like this is the girl. मैं हंसती हूँ और हम हंसते हैं. Okay, So far, life is good, right? There is no problem. Same rule applies to the different pronouns that you have. Now, instead of I'm telling you the explanation, let me ask you, why do we need all of a sudden the explanation of transitive verb and intransitive verb? Okay. So I want some of you to share with me, because in English also it's simple, right? You have eat and then you have ate. You have slept and you have laughed. Why don't we have something similar or simpler in Hindi as well? So let me put Anish ji on spot right now. So Anish ji, I think let me put you on spot. Anish ji, so unmute yourself and tell us, why do we even have to worry about this thing? What's the point?
The point is when we use it, you mean when we use it for the simple past, for example?
Okay, so I can't, let me do, as I said, the inverse method. Why can't I just like I have this sentence, what you're saying is, I said initially, main khata hu, as simple as that, right? Simple tense, simple present, you remove the na and replace it with ta, which means I eat. So now what you're saying is, why can't I just, Ashu ji, you told us the rule that in past tense you replace the whom with tha, thi, or the. Why can't I just say मैं apple खाता था? End of the story. Why we learn about intransitive verb or transitive verb?
Because in Hindi, when you can ask the question what after the verb, then you will use the ne. You will use मैंने, for example, मैंने सेब खाई.
Okay. No, but what does it mean?
I'm eating. I am eating.
No, so I eat is, you said मैं apple खाता हूँ. I eat.
Yeah.
An apple. Okay. But I also know another rule, that if I remove the whom and change it with tha, thi, and the, it becomes past tense. And I can just say मैं apple खाता था, मैं apple खाती थी, और हम apple खाते थे. And that's it. We should be happy with it. Why even learn about intransitive and transitive?
Because for transitive verb, you have to change the way you use the past tense.
Okay. So is this a different past tense then?
Yeah.
What is it? Which
you will use ne after the subject.
Okay. But what is this? What is, when I say मैं apple खाता था, what does it mean? I hope everyone is following it, right? So what do you think, Simona ji? What does it mean? मैं apple खाता था.
I was eating an apple, but we don't know if the action is completed or not. And when we use the other past tense, it means that the action is done, it's completed. No?
Okay. No, okay. So very close.
It's kind of a used to eat an apple.
Used to.
I see. Okay. So you're saying is, in this case, it means I used to eat apple, which may no longer be true, but I used to eat. I used to do something, an action. Okay. But you're saying now
so it emphasizes a repetition of the thing, no?
Say it again.
It's kind of a I don't know how we say in English. Repetition. I don't know if you can say that.
Repetition of what?
Of doing the same thing. I mean, in the past, I used to eat an apple each day, for example.
Okay. So what do we want to say now in order to say it differently? Is it different than, okay? So I hear an explanation that is pretty good. When I remove whom with tha, the, and the, essentially what I'm saying is, I used to eat apple. I used to sleep. Okay, now I'm sleepless. Okay, or I used to laugh, but I do not laugh anymore. Okay, but and is it the same thing, Anish, in French also? You have, if you used to do something, you conjugate verb.
Well, it's not the same way to say it, but yes, there are two forms, different forms.
Okay. But similarly, what about this? I ate, I slept, or I laughed. If I'm hearing you correctly, Anish ji, I cannot say the same thing if I want to say I ate an apple, I cannot say मैं खाता था. True? Yeah, okay.
Sahi
Okay.
hai.
Similarly, let's ask some of our new friends. Hi, Kay. मैं सोता था is I used to sleep. Can I say the same thing for I slept?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Taraji, what about you? मैं हंसता था. Okay, is I used to laugh. What about I laugh? Can I say the same thing or it will be different?
No, it is different.
Okay, okay, I laughed is different. Okay, so now is basically, as I'm learning from all of you, it's basically we have to differentiate, right? So far we are at the point where if you want to say something that you used to do, it's a simple thing. You construct your basic sentence and change the ending with tha, the, and thi. But that will only tell you something that you used to perform, which may not be true anymore. However, like many of the other languages, if you did something in the past, okay, like yesterday or last year or last week or last month, such as I went to India, I ate a lot of dosa, okay, I slept very late last night, or I watched a movie, I laughed a lot, okay, something that you did in the past, you performed the action, okay, that's when things start changing, and that's when you need the explanation of transitive verb and intransitive verb. Otherwise, life was pretty fair, no problem was there, right? And that's when you get into the explanation of so now I hope you guys are still following me. Now let's try to divide it into transitive and intransitive. Okay. Quick recap. We did it in the last two classes. I won't spend too much time, but we initially focused on just the intransitive verb. Which of these is intransitive verb and why? So this time I'm going to ask Irka ji.
Okay. So kana is transitive.
Okay. Let's focus on, yeah.
Okay, but intransitive are sona and hasna.
Sona and hasna, you are saying, is intransitive.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, why are they intransitive?
Because these verbs don't need an object. They don't correspond to an object.
Now it can be hard for people when we say like, they don't need an object, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard as you're learning Hindi. How do you know that they don't need an object? Yeah,
We have. Mm-hmm. There are questions that we can ask, and if you ask correctly, then we can know if the verb is transitive or intransitive. Okay. So, for example, can I ask what I sleep, or I think that's one of the ways. So I can't answer what I sleep.
Okay. Heike, you raising your hand. Awesome.
I use to figure out whether a verb is transitive or intransitive if I can do the verb by doing something else, like karna, to do something. If you can say something with it, it's transitive.
Okay, so for example, and both of you said the same thing. If you can say I slept what, or same thing, you're saying I slept something, like did you perform the action, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and similarly, I laughed what, or I laughed something, it doesn't really make sense. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works.
Awesome.
Ashu Ji, I think it works also with who. I mean, if we can ask what or who after the verb, isn't it?
Okay. Okay, so give an example of that.
I will do in English. I'm calling John.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I calling? So call would be a transitive verb.
Okay, pretty close. Okay, now let's ask someone who has not had any chance, and then John, are you still there?
Ashu Ji.
Okay, tell us which of these are in transitive verb?
Kana is the only one there.
Which one?
Kana is the only transitive verb there.
Kana is the only transitive verb. And why is it transitive?
because the verb can be applied to a noun. So like you eat something.
You eat something, right?
Yeah.
Got it. So when you eat something, it becomes, so let me erase it, okay? I hope you guys are still following it. And the whole point is like of getting here is basically setting up the context. Like, why do we even need it? Like, once we know why we need it, then it's much easier to learn, right? And I think, okay, so why do we need is like, because in Hindi, if you want to say something in past indefinite, you have to conjugate your verbs slightly differently, okay? And in order to say that, you need to know about both the transitive verb and the intransitive verb, okay? And that's why we did the entire like the reverse engineering and get to this state, okay? So if I can, in this case, when I say I eat an apple, you can convert into a sentence. I eat an apple can be I eat what? If you can get an answer to this question, that means there is a direct object. That means there is a direct object, okay? Which means if you say it in, which means it's a transitive verb, okay? It may not matter when you're saying something in present, but the same thing if you said it in the past, I ate, you have to, follow certain rules in Hindi in order to say it properly, okay? What are those rules? First rule is that you have to use a postposition called ne. Okay, you have to use a postposition called ne with the pronoun. Okay, that's the first rule. The second thing is you have to conjugate the verb. When I say conjugate, it's basically verb is changing form. Just like the way it was changing in the case of present tense, you were saying मैं apple खाता हूँ, मैं apple खाती हूँ. Okay, the verb was changing based on who is saying it. If Ashu is saying it, then it's मैं apple खाता हूँ. If Anna is saying it, मैं apple खाती हूँ. Okay, but in this case, it's regardless of whether Ashu is saying or Anna is saying, it'll get conjugated based on the gender of what is being eaten. Okay, so based on the object. That's a key thing you have to remember. Okay, so conjugate the verb. I'm not going to write it here, but just remember that it's based on the object. Okay, so if I'm saying it, I'll say मैंने apple खाया. If Anna is saying it, she'll say the same thing, मैंने apple खाया. Slightly different than how it was working in present indefinite tense. So just remember that. We'll practice it more, but just remember that. Okay, this is the rule. So now,
Ashu Ji, just
Yeah.
one tip from Usha Jain was that I liked is that the ne, it like blocks. So you can't get, that subject is blocked. You're looking at what it is in the object. It blocks you from your subject.
oh, I see. It blocks you from your subject. Okay.
Right.
Interesting. And how did she go further in it? Like, did she?
It's
did
just
she-
a way, to me, it just is a visual way of thinking. You no longer can say like, like in your example, it doesn't matter whether it's male or female because that ne has blocked you from the subject.
I see. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay. Now, one thing which I've not done in the past is I always said that there is an object. Okay. But now most of the languages, they don't define the transitive verb with just having one object. It can have multiple objects. Okay, it can have a direct object as well as indirect object. Okay, just remember that right now. We'll get into what is a direct object and what is an indirect object later on. Okay, but right now, transitive verbs are verbs that requires one or more objects. That's it. Okay, just remember that. Okay, now let's go into the first rule. How do we master this postposition name? Okay, and then the second one, basically conjugating the verb. Okay, so for some of you it may be quite a revision, but hang in there. it'll be a good revision for even for those who are, mastered it. Okay. Because my take is, if you can explain it to other people, then you mastered it, right? I mean, and so now let's learn the first thing, and basically, which is, what do we mean by adding ne to the pronoun? So when I make the list of the pronoun, we typically talk about मैं, which is I, आप, which is you, हम, which is we, and वे, which is we say they. Okay, so let me erase the top part. Okay, so मैं, आप, हम, वे, and I'm gonna just write यह, वह, ये, and I'm just gonna write two here. Okay, so यह is this, that, these, and two is you. Okay, now let's first practice when we add ne to it, how do they evolve. Okay, so now this time I'm going to just have some of you do the first part and some of you, but I want all of you to start doing it in parallel. Okay, so you don't feel that you didn't get a chance. So you have a chat in front of you. It's a pretty nice Zoom chat. So I want all of you to tell me, when we add ne to it, how does it change? So you have, मैं, and if you use ne with it, what happens after that? Okay, similarly all of them. So keep writing it down. In the meantime, I'm going to pick one of you to Bunde. You want to give us मैं, or what? How does it change when you use ne with it?
Just मैंने.
मैंने. Okay, what about you? आप.
आपने.
आपने.
I think that one you have to be careful to make sure it sounds like apne and not apne, because that's, also used.
Yeah, that's right. So you're saying it has to be apne. There has to be a sound, not apne. Otherwise, it'll be, yourself. Okay. What about hum?
हमने.
Humne. And then ve is.
Ooh, okay. I remember this one. It's unhone.
Unhone. Very good. Unhone. Unhone. Awesome. So good so far. Navneet, you want to tell us what about yeh, veh, ye, and tu? How does it change? What is yeh plus ne?
Yeah.
Okay. One more time. Yeh ne. You're saying yeh ne. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Okay. Okay. You're saying yeh ne, veh ne, and then look at this one. He said for ve is unhone. Okay, very good. Inhone. Inhone. And then tu is tum. Okay, so if it is tum, that is tumne. If it is tu, then it is almost there. Tune. Very good. Navneet. Okay, don't read it as tune, it's tune. Okay. The first two, yeh and veh. Let's see, Navneet, if some of our friends can help us here. Tom, what do you think? Yeh and veh.
What do you mean by what do I think?
If I add ne in each of them, yeh, if I want, like for example, if I want to say name with me, it's maine, aapne, humne, unhone.
Our special form for yaha with ne is yehene.
Okay, okay. And veh with ne is?
Becomes vehene.
Okay, okay. Close, very close. Okay, it's slightly different. Okay. Rita ji? Very close. Okay. Don't feel bad. Anyone?
Yaha is, I believe, isne.
Okay, very good. Isne.
And Vaha is usne.
Very good. Isne and usne. So you have isne and usne. Awesome. Right. So just remember that. So these four can be tricky. Isne, usne, inhone, and unhone. They can be slightly tricky. Okay. So just remember that. Okay. So this is sort of your first rule of thumb. As you want to say your sentences in past indefinite, you have to be able to use a name with a pronoun. Now it can be with anyone. If I am doing something in the past indefinite, Ashu ne. Okay. Same thing if Kelly is doing something in the past, is Kelly ne. Same thing with Yirka ne or Tarha ne. Yeah, right. So it's based on the pronoun that we have here in front of us. Okay. So far so good, right? So this is the first thing. Now let's jump to the next one, like conjugating the verb. Okay, so I'm gonna erase it. I'm assuming most of you were able to write it down.
May I ask a short question, please?
Yeah. Go.
So you said our names never change because our names don't have oblique case, but
That's right.
let's say lurka ne.
Mhm.
So lurka should fall into oblique, so it should be lurkene.
That's right. That will be an oblique case.
Okay, thanks.
It's a pretty good one. Is that Yirka?
Yes.
Okay. So the good point here is like so far, we are talking about these pronouns, right? But the moment you have like ladka, so plus ne, it will just follow the same rule that we have, that you have a postposition in front of a noun. And whenever you have something used with a postposition, it changes into an oblique case, and then it will become ladke ne apple khaya. Right? So far so good. Right. So now let's jump to the. I hope you're all following it. Okay. Let me know. I'm happy to go over it. Now we'll do the second part, conjugating the verb. Okay, with one example.
Ashu Ji, you were so kind to me to say I was so close with Vahan and Yaha. But Isne, thank you so much. Isne for Yaha, Usne for Vaha,
Right.
and for Ye, would you please say it?
Inhone.
Inhone.
Yeah. I think my handwriting is pretty crappy.
No, it's just that it's small. I can't enlarge it. Thank you. Inhone.
Yeah, inhone.
Thank you. And but tume, when we come to tumne.
If it is tum, then it is tumne. If it is you, like if I'm very close to you, which I am, I can, but you're elder to me, so I'll still give you respect. I'll say apne. But like if it is like, very close friend of mine, I'm going to say tune. Right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Wait, in Ashu Ji, is those unhone as well?
Yeah, that's right. Those is also unhone. Yeah. I don't write it usually. I just use this pair of 8 all the time. So this is kind of, but you are right there. So now let's do the second part, conjugating the verb. Okay. And I think this part, it's a little bit like, it can be challenging as well, because like in the past tense, first, the challenge here is like first we learn about intransitive verb where it's always about the subject. Okay. But now the things are changing, and all of a sudden now you have to look at the object, right? So let's say, and I'm going to use Rupert's example, okay, which is you have, in his examples, he says, she wrote a letter. She wrote a letter. So, who wants to go? Anyone new? Anyone new? Alma Ji, you want to go? You want to give it a try?
Okay.
Okay, start from the very basic. Tell us your thought process. Tell us everything about about. Yeah.
So wrote is the verb likna.
Okay, so it's, yeah, likhna is the verb.
A letter is chithi and is feminine.
Okay, letter is okay. let's say I want to use the word patra. Okay, so
Okay.
patra.
Is it masculine?
That's right. It's masculine. It's right.
Okay.
Masculine. Okay. If it is one, it's masculine singular. If it is plural, also is the same thing. Okay. It's the same for singular as well as plural.
Okay.
Some of the nouns are like that, where singular and plural are same. But keep going. I don't want to interrupt.
And for she, I would use vaha.
Okay.
So my sentence would be usne ek patra likha.
Okay. If I were to again challenge you, why do we put ne here? Because I learned about the 10 like the verbs in the past. Okay. And in my mind, I'm still fuzzy. How do I know it's which verb is it?
Okay, because you write something.
Okay, so you can say she writes something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or she writes what, and you get the answer later. So you're saying it's a transitive verb.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So usne, वह plus ne. Okay, and then
एक पत्र.
उसने एक पत्र.
So we have to conjugate the verb according to what she's writing, which is masculine, so it's likha.
Okay, so you're saying it. The verb was likhna, and you are saying I remove the na and I put a here. Okay, and for doing that, you are looking at, so this is your subject, right? This is your subject, she. Okay, and this is your object. Okay, and you're saying like it doesn't matter what the subject is. I'm looking at just the object. If it is masculine singular, I'm removing the na and I'm putting a. True?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. उसने एक पत्र लिखा. Now let me change it slightly. If it is I wrote a letter, मैंने एक पत्र लिखा. Now, regardless of whether you are saying it or I am saying it, if with your definition, the answer is still the same. Like, I wrote a letter, मैंने पत्र लिखा, and if you say, आपने पत्र लिखा. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's write down the rules for it, and then I'm going to come back to it. So, you write there, it's based on the object. Okay. And the word conjugation is, I'm going to write down here, likhna. You remove the na and you change it with a. If the object is masculine singular. Okay, likha. Okay. If it's plural, then it's you remove the na and you change it with a. Masculine plural. So if it is many letters, okay, I wrote many letters. How will I say that, Simona? How will I say if I wrote many letters?
मैंने बहुत पत्र लिखे.
Very good, right? So you remove the na and you change it with a. मैंने बहुत पत्र लिखे. Okay. Now let's change it with e. Feminine singular. So say something which is feminine in nature, okay? And you wrote or you composed that, and tell us how will you say that. And this time I'm going to ask, let's see, anyone who didn't get a chance, Vatsalaji, you want to tell us? Pick a feminine object.
Ghana feminine.
Ghana is masculine. Let's say poem. Poem.
मैंने एक poem लिखी.
Very good. मैंने एक poem लिखी और मैंने एक कविता लिखी. Okay. What about the plural? Many poems.
मैंने बहुत कविता लिखी.
Okay. कविताएं. You can say I'm okay with English also. You can say मैंने poems लिखी, or you can say मैंने कविताएं लिखी. Okay. Remove the na and you put लिखी, e with the nasalized sound. Okay. मैंने कविताएं लिखी. Any questions so far? Anyone? Or is it too much? Too many rules? Things are getting lost.
Ashu Ji, I have a question. How do you say I met them? So would it be मैंने उन्होंने मिले?
Okay. Okay. So I met them. Okay. So let me write it down here. So I think we can. I met them. Let's see. How will you deconstruct it? The verb is to meet.
So to meet will be milna.
Very good.
And so here I'm saying them. So I'm not sure whether it's a girl, I mean, one girl or a boy, or I mean, I'm assuming that a group of individuals like girls and boys together are meeting.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want to say the na, but I want to change just mile. मैंने उन्होंने मिले. Would it be correct?
So let's see. This is an interesting one. So let's see. Haikeji, how will you deconstruct this one? Let me ask, people who learned it from academic manner. How will you deconstruct this one? I met them.
Milna comes with se, so you need to use that.
Okay. So you're saying Milna comes with say.
Yes.
Which is another postposition. Okay. Very good. That's a pretty close one. And then?
So I'm actually not 100% sure if Milna is an exception or not.
Yes, but keep going.
But then if it is an exception, then ne isn't needed for it.
It's not needed. Okay. But what about them? How will you make sense of it? How will you add?
Unse.
Unse. Very good, right? So she is saying they is way. So this is slightly challenging, by the way, Sindhuji, but because you asked the question, I'm going to add it here. Okay. They is way, but them is unse. Okay. When you add way and say, it becomes unse. Okay. And I met them, right? So मैं उनसे मिला. Okay. मैं उनसे मिला. So it's an exception basically of the transitive verb. It's an intransitive verb. If I'm saying it मैं उनसे मिला, if you are saying it मैं उनसे मिली. Okay. So it's following the same rule as the intransitive verb. Okay. So bear with me. We may come back to this one in a little bit more detail. But right now, bring your focus back to the 90% of the, or more than 90% of the words which are not really in the exception category. Okay. So that way at least you have the big picture in mind, and it is pretty clear that these are the same set of verbs which are not into any of the exception boundaries. Okay. So far so good. मैंने पत्र लिखा. Okay. मैंने पत्र लिखे. मैंने कविता लिखी और मैंने कविताएं लिखी. Okay. I want to give all of you a small quiz now, so that I have a good understanding, and I want all of you to perform, even folks who are watching live on Facebook. Okay. So this will give me a confidence that the non-exception cases you can handle it pretty well. Okay. So let's say you have Ram bought a cup. Okay, and if you don't know anything, just ask me, I'll do that. Okay, and the second one is Anya's. Anaji, I'm sorry, I'm using your name here. She bought cups. Okay, third one, Ram bought a book. Ram bought a book, and the fourth one is Anya's bought books. So these are the 4 examples. I want you to, all of you to try it out, okay? And tell me the answer, okay? And if you don't know the verb, I can help you out. Give some time, okay? In the meantime, let me quickly say hi to everyone who have not had a chance to talk to them.
Would cup be masculine or feminine?
Which one? Cup.
Cup.
Give your best chance, okay? Give your best try. I can give you a hint, it's a masculine. We're missing Leah Ji. She usually just joins from Facebook, but she is not there in the class. But yes, I've not spoken with Tarza Ji. Tarza, you hope you're doing well. You have Sangeeta Ji as well. Sharon. Okay. And we have Anne as well. Awesome. So I hope you guys are all okay. Ramne, awesome. Okay, so hopefully you had time. Let me know when you guys are done. The thing is, like, this is such a big topic, and I don't feel like rushing. How many classes do they take usually, Heike in university when they taught, transitive and intransitive verb?
I'm not sure. I think maybe Alma can help me answering that.
Maybe a week or 2, which is
Like
4 hours.
2 hours roughly. Okay.
4 hours.
4 hours. Okay. John, what was your experience when you took the class? How many hours did they spend?
I didn't take a Hindi class, but when I did it with my tutor, we spent 5 hours, so an hour every day for the week.
For the week, okay, I see. Okay, awesome. So I hope, let me see, in this case, let's see, Anna, you want to give it a try? I want to make sure, because she is up, by the way, give her a round of applause. She's in Australia. It's 3 a.m. in Australia.
Okay.
I would not do that, okay? Personally, if you ask me that, this is your favorite language, you have to get up early in the morning at 3. But let's do that.
Okay. Okay. Ram ne ek cup kharida.
Very good. Ram ne ek cup kharida.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then Agnes, yeah, do I use bahut here, or what do I use for?
You can say that.
Cups. Okay, cups kharide.
Agnes ne cups kharide.
Yeah, okay. Agnes ne cups kharide. Mm-hmm. Then Ram bought a book. Ram ne ek kitab kharidi.
Okay.
Ne, yeah, is right. Yeah. And Agnes ne kitabe kharidi.
Very good. Awesome. See, you got it all right. Okay. So I can feel happy that at least, you staying up at 3 a.m. It's worth it, right? I mean, so thanks for that. Okay. Now, I'll quickly give you guys, so hopefully this is good. Now what I'll do is I'll give you a list of, there are many intransitive verbs, but, again, we cannot memorize all of them. Like, there has to be a tier-based approach, right? You first learn the most common ones, then you do the next common ones. And so I made a list of, and again, this is from the NE document, I think Heike you shared on the channel, right? So I took a subset of the transitive verbs from that, and I'm going to give you 10 transitive verbs that all of you should memorize it, okay? And that way, at least you can use them in your day-to-day, language, okay? So I'm going to write it down, and I want you to follow me along in that. And then, so first one is, I think you used. Buy is kharidna. Okay, to buy is kharidna, and these are the list of transitive verbs. Okay, kharidna. Okay, and to write, I think I already covered it. Likhna. To watch, dekhna. And the key thing is, like, as I do the breakout rooms, we'll come back to it. Actually, let me not jump ahead. To watch is dekhna. To listen is sunna. And to do is karna. Like exercise karna, or anything. Ghar saaf karna, right? Kamana. Kamana is to earn. That's an interesting word, right? To kamana. We'll probably spend more time in the subsequent classes, right? To earn money is paise kamana. To earn respect, it's ijjat kamana, right? I mean, okay. So it's all you earn it, right? So you that's where you use it. Okay, kamana. Kamana. Okay. Then you have some more. Then you have khana. We already did, right? Khana. I'm going to write it. To eat is khana. And then you have jalana. Okay. Jalana is to set on fire. Jalana. Like like, if you want to, let's say you're a news reporter and you want to write a story about that, some people burned something down, right? You can use that word, jalana, right? Unhone, not saying you should do it or anyone should, but unhone, paper jalaya, right? That's where you would use it, right? It will jalana. Puchna is to ask. Puchna. Okay. Similarly, to make is banana. To make is banana. Okay, not the fruit, but the banana. So this is the most commonly used one. Okay, which you will encounter. Okay. Now this is where I want to give you the exercise for next week. Okay. Last week I didn't do a good job of giving the exercise. So let me try again. This time your exercise is you have to let's say you're making something very nice, okay, in your cuisine. Okay, don't think about making an Indian cuisine. Your cuisine, which is popular in your country. Okay, you have to, let's say whatever you made, like, you have to give a recipe of that. Okay, and you have to write it down. You can say that मैंने apple sauce बनाया, उसमें मैंने apple डाला. Okay, मैंने sugar डाली. Okay, मैंने पानी मिलाया. But that's about it. I won't give you too many hints. Okay, so your homework exercise is to write a recipe of something that is very popular in your country. Okay, for those of you who are pretty advanced in Devanagari, you can say it in Devanagari also. Okay, write it in Devanagari, and you can post it in the WhatsApp group that we have. And if for those of you who are not in the WhatsApp group, let me know. I'll add you in the WhatsApp group as well. Okay, so this is the list of most popular one. For folks who are watching live on Facebook, now we'll do basically this section is not for you, but we'll do the in-class discussion, and I want all of you to go to page number 139 of the Rupert Snell book, and in the breakout room, I want all of you to do the reading of 11b. Okay, reading of 11b, which is the what Pratap did in Nepal. That's a paragraph. Okay, the goal is I want all of you to read it together with your buddy, Hindi learning buddy here, and you have to identify intransitive verbs in the paragraph and make sense of the paragraph as well. Okay, so that's the exercise. Exercise 11B. If you don't have the book, hopefully your the buddy you'll be paired with, they'll be able to help you out with that. Okay, if not, I'm going to come into each of the breakout room and then help out. Any questions? I know we are slightly
and hopefully can be able to read Devanagari.
Yep. You can read Devanagari, and if you don't have no Devanagari, if you go to just our link tiny.cc/Hindi University, we have written this paragraph in Romanagari as well, which is like the English version of that. Okay, so
I just have one question about unhone. Unhone is always the one that gets me. So it's either going to be they, or if you have like those boys, like unhone larke. Is that right?
So if you're just saying those boys ve ladke, right? If un ladko ne, right?
So when do you use those for like unhone? That's what I was trying to figure out. Like,
so the thing is, like, you are not using those independently. You're using it with those boys. That's why it becomes like un ladko ne. So essentially, it's if you just want to refer to them as like unhone, ye kaam kisne kiya, you can say un ladko ne, or you can say unhone. Now in English, you will not say those, right? Your mind is thinking in English. That's why you're like,
as always.
Yeah. No, but it's a very valid point, because you in English will say those boys. Okay, you will not just say those. You will say they did it, right?
Okay.
In Hindi, you can say un ladko ne, or you can say unhone.
So you can say that instead. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Awesome. So hopefully this is clear. Let me see if there are questions. I think Vatsalaji, she typed something. Could you please add me? So Vatsalaji, I think for me, okay, so I'll add you. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to send you that link, okay? And anyone else who is not there on the WhatsApp group, let me know. I think Anna, you are also not there, so feel free to, because it's a very close group. We don't share it publicly, so I'm going to add you guys in the WhatsApp group so you get to know and you get to discuss with other friends. But
I am in the group.
You are in the group. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I'm in the group.
Awesome. All right, so we'll do the breakout room. I'm gonna divide you, and if anybody has any obligation you have to leave, don't feel compelled. You're happy to, you're happy to leave. Okay, so I'm gonna create breakout rooms. Please join, and then I'm gonna help you out in the breakout rooms. Okay, awesome. Energy, you have to leave, or it's even everything is shut down, so you can't go to church.
Yeah, I don't go to church, but it's better I leave, because then it's the end of the day with everything going on. So
What time is it? What time is it?
It's 6 p.m.
Okay. No, it's okay.
6 p.m.
Thanks for joining. We miss you.
Yes. Yeah, but I was there via Facebook last time.
Yeah. I saw your.
Sometimes. Yeah. Thank you so much for all your time. So nice.
Of course. Awesome. So you feel free to leave energy, or you can join break. Either way.
Yeah. I can quit. Bye. See you then.
Bye.
Oh God, I'm alone.